This is the story of a beautiful girl named Cinderella. Many years ago, there lived a beautiful girl named Cinderella on this earth. It had been many years since Cinderella's mother passed away. Her father had raised her. When Cinderella's father remarried, there was a lot of change in her life. Her father's new wife and her two daughters came to live with their stepmother. She and her daughters were jealous of Cinderella's beauty and kind heart. Cinderella's sisters were not as beautiful as Cinderella. Not only that, they were both tough and spoiled. One day, due to some work, Cinderella's father had to go on a long journey, and this was the time when Cinderella's stepmother and sisters turned her life into hell. When Cinderella was talking to her lovely birds in her garden, her stepmother came to her. "After today, you will live in this atari. You will do all the housework, and I don't like you roaming in these clothes at all." Cinderella did not know what to say. She did as she was told helplessly. She picked up her things and went to the atari. After that day, Cinderella used to do all the housework herself. She used to get very tired, but neither her stepmother nor her stepsisters felt pity for her. "Clean the floor properly again. Can you see the dust? Except for the rats and the birds sitting on the window." Cinderella had no friends. To save herself from the cold, at night, Cinderella used to go near the chimney and sleep there. Such days passed. One day, an announcement was made by the king in the city. "A party has been organized by the prince in the palace. All girls eligible for marriage are invited to this party." As soon as the stepsisters heard this, they ran home and told their mother, "You two will be the most beautiful in the party. The prince should choose only one of you. In this way, all of us will be able to stay in the palace. We will have to buy clothes and shoes for both of you. Come on, let's go shopping." The stepmother and the sisters went out. Standing there, Cinderella, who was listening to these words, became sad. Preparations were going on for many days. The stepsisters' clothes were stitched. Every day, both of them used to stand in front of the mirror and tell themselves, "We will be the most beautiful girls in the party." Finally, that day came. The stepsisters woke up early today. They called Cinderella. "Cinderella, Cinderella, come here quickly. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Hurry up and get ready for our slum." The whole day, Cinderella helped the sisters to get ready. By evening, both of them got ready for the party. "You both are looking beautiful." Cinderella gathered all her courage and asked her stepmother, "Is it? Can I also come to the party?" "Oh, yes, he has called all the young girls." "Is this your attire for the party?" "The prince wants a wife for himself, not a maid." "Come on, girls, it's getting late for the party. And you remember, all the work should be done before sleeping." The stepmother and sisters left for the party, and the lonely Cinderella started crying at home. "Why can't I go to the party? If my parents were here today, all this wouldn't have happened." At that time, a bright light was seen. First, Cinderella couldn't understand what it was. She was looking at the light, and suddenly, a beautiful fairy appeared in the middle of the light. "My dear Cinderella, don't cry. You will also go to the party in the palace." Cinderella couldn't believe her eyes. She asked in a hurry, "Can I go? Look at my condition." "Don't worry, I am there to help you. For your help, get me a pumpkin and 7 rats." Cinderella couldn't understand why she needed these things, but she did what she was told. First, she went to the kitchen and got a big pumpkin. Then she went to the atari and came down again with her 2 rats. The fairy turned the pumpkin into a beautiful buggy with her magical wand. Then she turned towards the rats. One of them became a driver, and the other 6 turned into beautiful white horses. Surprised, Cinderella was looking at the buggy and the horses. Then the fairy turned towards her. When she touched Cinderella with her magical wand, her old dress turned into a beautiful party gown, and her shoes turned into beautiful glass shoes. "I look like a princess. Now it's time to go to the party. But don't forget to come home as soon as the clock strikes 12. Because after that, you will be like before." Cinderella listened to the fairy very carefully. Then she sat her day in the buggy and walked towards the palace. When Cinderella entered the palace through the doors, everyone was looking at her. She was looking very beautiful and rich. Her stepmother and stepsisters were also looking at this beautiful woman. They couldn't even recognize her. Suddenly, the prince was seen on the stairs. Cinderella was really looking beautiful among all the girls present at the party. The prince fell in love with this beautiful girl at first sight. Everyone was looking at her with curiosity. He slowly moved forward. The stepsisters were very happy that the prince was coming towards them. Come, he is coming towards me. But the prince moved forward and stopped in front of Cinderella. Hey beautiful fairy, would you like to dance with me? Cinderella said yes with humility. The prince and Cinderella started dancing among the guests. Cinderella was so impressed with the music and dance. She felt as if she and the prince were in the palace. Just the two of them. They kept dancing till late night. Cinderella didn't realize how much time had passed. Suddenly, she saw the clock. It was midnight. At that time, Cinderella remembered the fairy's warning. As soon as the clock struck 12, you come home, because after that, it will be midnight. She hurriedly left the prince there and started running. When she was coming down the steps of the palace, she left one of her shoes there, and she didn't even have time to go for shoes again. Everything happened as it was before. When the prince ran after her, he found that shoe on the stairs. Find out whose shoe it is. Then, even if you have to meet all the girls of the kingdom for it, find it and bring it. She started thinking about the time she spent with the prince. She knew that she didn't have any chance, but still, she fell in love with the prince. For the prince, it was impossible to find that girl. The prince's men went to every house of the kingdom and started looking for the owner of that shoe. But the shoe didn't fit in any girl's feet. At last, the prince's men reached Cinderella's house. Cinderella was very happy to see the prince's car in front of her house. As soon as Cinderella started going out of the room, her stepmother was seen at the door. Where are you going? Even you are trying to wear the shoe. With a terrible laugh, the stepmother locked the door. No, please open the door. Please. The man first made his slim sister wear the shoe, but she was too small for his feet. Look, it fits so well in my feet. Then the fat sister tried, but the shoe didn't fit in her feet. Maybe we should have tried on the other feet. They tried a lot but failed. Cinderella tried to run towards the window for the last time, but the window was very high. She started crying. Seeing her crying, her friends came to her. My stepmother has locked me up. She must have the key. The mouse slipped out of the door. The stepmother was standing at the door with the prince's men. Why don't you come tomorrow? Today she is very tired and her feet are swollen. The mouse jumped on the stepmother's skirt and took out the key and ran upstairs. She sneaked the key under the door. Cinderella was very happy to see the key. She opened the door and ran downstairs. How did you come out? Please wait. Don't go. I also want to wear the shoe. Hearing this, the stepmother and her sisters started laughing loudly. Calm down. It is the prince's order that all the girls of the kingdom should try. When Cinderella wore the shoe, everyone was surprised, because the shoe fit well in her feet. Cinderella shook her head and said yes. Please come with us to the palace. Cinderella went with him to the palace. She presented her to the prince. As soon as the prince saw Cinderella in her eyes, he realized that she had danced with him that night. He held Cinderella's hand. I finally found you. Will you marry me? With tears in his eyes, he accepted the prince's proposal. They got married and started living happily.